Morning, folks. James here. Another episode of View from the Tube. Oh boy, I need to get into shape. We're on the trail here, hiking in about 9 a.m. today, right now. Not too early, but we're hiking into a lake in my favorite part of the province, what I would consider my homeland, my home waters, Whiteshell Provincial Park. And as you can see, I'm pretty loaded up with the auger. I got the fish finder, the flasher, I got the underwater camera, ice shack. On my feet, I got my snowshoes, because you never know how deep this snow's gonna be when you walk off the trail. I've had times where I go off and I'm up to my waist. So snowshoes definitely make it a little easier. Anyways, we're almost at the lake. We're going to a lake today. I wouldn't really call it a backcountry lake. I guess it's more remote than anything else. You can't really drive to it. Got to hike to it. That's what we're doing right now, obviously. And nice mix of trout and perch, the odd pike in there, and you always get into a lot of good fish. So we're hoping to get there soon. A couple big hills along the way that I'm trying to hike over. I'll report back once we get there. Talk to you in a bit. All right, well, 9:30. We're at the lake. What a brutal hike. I guess with all the snow, it just makes it so much tougher. Anyways, we're fishing a little spot over here I really like. I fish it a lot in the summer. I know this lake pretty well from the summertime. There's a nice rock point there. Fish tend to keep coming back to it summer and winter. Done really well both times when we come, you know, in the summer and in the winter time. But yeah, I'm gonna drill a few holes, find the point. It's pretty obvious, but find the point, work the edges, start marking some fish, and then I'm gonna set up the shack. Okay, so drilled about 5 holes, just going out deeper and deeper, and you can see where that point is right there. And I'm gonna just, take my flasher, gonna go dip in those holes, find out how deep we're at, and then we're gonna narrow in or hone in on where that point is, even though we can kind of see it. It doesn't go out perfectly straight, that's why I gotta always find it. And then we're going to set up the shack. I'll show you how that goes, and hopefully we'll be fishing soon. Okay, so we just walked over to the first hole. We got the flasher out, and I'm just going to turn it on. Guessing where I'm at here, you can see about the distance offshore. It's a very quick drop off. I'm going to say I'm about probably 14 to 16 feet roughly. We'll just see how accurate I was. Yeah, and we're in 15 feet, and as you can see, nothing really marking there yet. Sometimes these fish take a little bit of provoking with some bait to get them to come in. I'm going to just jump over to the next hole a little further on here. We'll see how that goes, and as you can see, I'm just walking with my transducer out, and all I do is dip it into the next hole. See what kind of a range of depth we got. And as you can see, just a very short distance away, we're at 22. So there's quite a drop off here. Go to the next one. I'm not going to go to all of them. I'll go to the next one here though. And again, about the same distance away. And now we're at 25. Okay, so a little bit of a range there. I'm going to start at the 15-foot hole. I got a couple marks shown there down at the bottom. You can see little blips. we'll see how it goes. I might move or work my way out here, so we'll see. Okay, just getting set up. Just a quick overview of my equipment. I use a Jiffy auger. I've used that for years and it's still going strong. No point in upgrading. It works perfect. Got my Showdown flasher set up. Over here I got my my aqua-vu underwater camera. We'll look at that in a sec. Backpack with my food and my water and my bait. I got these snowshoes over here. They're excellent aluminum snowshoes. Got them from Costco. I think the brand name's Yukon Charlie. I'm not sure. I don't know the first thing about snowshoes, but I know that these are good, and I'm rarely disappointed by the quality of the stuff from Costco. Got my bucket with my rods and my bump board and all the rest of my stuff. And I got my Fraybill ice shack, which I'm going to show you how easy it is to set up. Most people have switched to these hub-style ice shacks, and it really doesn't matter which one you get, as long as it works for you. Okay, so here we are about 5 minutes later inside the shack. That is the beauty of these portable shacks. You're set up really fast. I got holes all around me, and you can see that that is the side where the sun is coming from. That's very important in a sec when I talk to you about how we're going to set up for these fish. I got the flasher here. I'm going to just turn that on. Sorry, it's so dark. And you can see I'm sitting in 25 feet of water. Alright, according to the flasher. Now, we've talked before in videos about how invaluable a flasher is. It's unbelievably useful. But another very useful tool, especially when you're on a clear water lake, is the underwater camera. Now, these seemed like a bit of a novelty, I think, when they came out. Maybe people didn't take them too seriously or whatever. But on a clear water lake, I can't fish without it. I think it is unbelievably useful. And I'm going to show you how we set up. I'm using the aqua-vu. It's just a black and white version. That's all you really need. Save a bit of money. Okay, so we got the unit here ready to go. And you may notice that I've got this tripod that sits over the hole. And that is a very useful tool. What that does is it ensures that the camera doesn't spin around in current. There's no current in this lake. But it really helps for positioning it so that you can see exactly where you want it to point. As you notice, I got a hole here and I got a hole here. Alright, this is my video hole. It's going to be turned towards that hole. This is also why it was important that I faced the sun with these holes. These two are facing the sun so that my camera can pick up the most light possible and hopefully pick up my jig or whatever I'm using down at the bottom. Alright, so here's how it works. We open this up, right, and you'll see basically it's just a TV screen. Alright, and nothing fancy. And on the newer models, of course, it's a flat screen. So this is an older model. I'm not ashamed to use an older model, and I'm just going to power it up. And you'll notice that I've got a nice little camera that looks like a perch. And I don't know if you can see on the camera, but there I am. Hi. Alright. So you can see that wherever I point this camera, I'm able to see on the TV. So what we're going to do is conveniently on the line itself, okay, I put little yellow markers for every foot of cable. Because I know that it's 25 feet here, all I got to do is look at my cable, get it down to 25, and I should be close to the bottom where I'm going to be fishing. Okay, so we're set up here now. And you can see that I've got my small jig, just my tungsten, bouncing off the bottom there. And I've got a jigging spoon with a piece of shrimp on it, just kind of as a dead stick, just to lure them in. Once they come in, hopefully attracted by the jigging of the tungsten with the spike on it, we'll see what happens. But I haven't seen much yet. As you can see, I'm next to a rock point. I don't know if you can see the detail of the rocks there. I haven't seen much yet, even perch, which usually there's a ton of. So I'm wondering if I have to move. We'll just have to see how it goes. I'll wait it out a little bit. On this hole, I've got the flasher set up, just to check to see if there's any fish that come up high up above where I'm fishing, which is just off the bottom. So we keep an eye on that, and we'll see how we do. Alright, all set up in Central Command here. Just because you have a lot of electronics doesn't mean you're going to catch fish, and that is a pretty important lesson. Anyways, all good to go. Ready to catch some fish. We'll see what happens. Alright, well, not too far into it here. And managed to get one pretty quickly. Just a nice little splake, it looks like. And I'm going to just let him go right back down the hole. There he goes. He's going to go on his own even. Slimy little bugger. Saw him swim in. And away he goes. He's out of here. Saw him swim in. He tapped it a few times, and he ended up taking the more active bait, the one that kind of looked like a little minnow. Okay, again, not too long after. Another splake, about the same size. They're all kind of like similar size. This guy looks like he's about 12 inches or so. He's not that big. Okay, I'm gonna let him go, of course. We're gonna watch him swim away, and down he goes. Another splake. Now, I think I'm starting to figure them out a little bit. We're going to see if I can start connecting with a few more. What I've been doing is I've been doing aggressive jigging from the top all the way down to the bottom, and they seem to swim in and attack it. Nice size rainbow. This guy's a little bigger. Probably going about 15 inches or so. Letting him go. There he goes. I did get that take. I watched that take, but I wasn't fast enough to get the camera on it, unfortunately. So we'll keep trying. A couple minutes after the last one, and I'm starting to figure these guys out. All about the same size. Cookie cutter. Must have been stocked around the same time. But what I'm doing is watching down the hole now. It's easier, it's more entertaining, and I can actually watch these guys come in and take it, which is really, really cool. I'm not keeping any. These are decent for keepers, but I feel bad for them. So I'm going to let them go down, and this next time I'm going to try to get the take on video. It's really cool. Alright, well, I want to talk a little bit about my technique and what's really been working nicely. I'm using a spike on a tungsten jig head. Maybe we'll even be lucky to get one to swim through here. And what I'm doing is I am fishing the top 5 to 10 feet, and we're in 15 feet of water. I can see all the way down to the bottom with my eyes. It's probably hard for the camera, but I can see my jig all the way down at 15, just looking down the hole. And what's happening is, as I do this, the fish are coming cruising in, usually at the level. Oh, I got one biting my jig right now. There he is. It looks like a good one. He's hitting my jig right now, so I better get ready for him. And that's the lower one, and I got him. I got him right now. Okay, I might have lost him because I'm using one hand to get him. I think I lost him. I did. We're going to see if I can get him to come on here, and he is. It's a different one, as you can see. Whoa, missed him. Okay, let's get it back down there. Hopefully you didn't feel that sting of the hook. Here he comes. He's coming up for it, and I can watch. The neat thing is I can watch and just time it perfectly for when they hit. The one that I dropped on the bottom there was a big one. Okay, I'll admit, probably the biggest of the day. This guy seems to have lost interest as well, but we're going to get right back down there, and hopefully we're going to get a few more to come in, and I can get a take right on video. As you can see, it's really cool. They kind of circle like sharks, and there's lots of them down there. I'm getting bites every 5 minutes or so. Pretty cool. Alright, I just want to talk a little bit about what we're using today. You probably noticed the spoon that's down there. That is just a Lindy jigging spoon, used for walleye mainly. The reason I like it is it's got the nice big wings on it, and kind of flutters and spins. And I'm using it mainly as an attractant. And on there I've got a piece of shrimp. And so for the lazy, I call them the lazy trout, they'll see it down there and they'll bump it and keep nudging it until they pretty much hook themselves, like we saw in the last video. On the active rod, what I'm using is it's a brand called Fiskas. They're out of, I believe, Sweden. I'm not sure exactly. I think it's Sweden. And they're a unique type of jig head. They're made of tungsten, come in different colors. I got gold on here. Very, very heavy for their size. You'll notice that they don't have a jig eye. The jig actually, the string goes right through the head of the jig, and that guarantees that you're going to get a nice horizontal jig all the time. I've got a power bait spike on here, okay, very similar to crappie fishing, to add a lot of movement. And the trout, between those two presentations, the trout seem to be going crazy for it, so it's very effective. Okay, another nice one. This one a little bit longer than the rest, not by much, of course, but good fish. We'll let him go again. He really played around a long time before he actually bit it, so that one I had to work quite a bit. He was a good fight though, really good fight. Alright, well, here's the worst part of the walk back. I know it doesn't look like much. I'm sure the video camera lies. But this is what we've dubbed as Heart Attack Hill. And its name is, it's given because it is brutal. Especially if you're walking this trail. I don't have a snowmobile today. But it is brutal. And there's several like this. This is the worst one. And once you get past this, well, it's not as bad. But brutal hills. You got to be in good shape, which I'm not. But it definitely helps. So anyways, I have to tackle the inevitable.